Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amber and I love all things handbag related, with a little bit of emphasis on the brands Vera, Bradley, and Lug. I also occasionally, rarely, do some content related to concealed carry and how that works with all of these beautiful bags that I love. So if any of that sounds good to you, then stick around and let's hang out. So for today's video, I have a Vera Bradley haul, and this does come from the retail side, and it's from the current sale that they have going on with their 50% off all the sale items. So the majority of these are sale items. However, I also picked up one of the new featherweight bags. So at the very end of this haul, I'm going to try to do all the other items fairly quickly. And then at the end of the haul, I'm going to show you the bag that I picked up. I'm going to give you my first impressions. We're going to do an overview of the features. I will give you some comparisons with other handbags that might give you a better idea on size. And then we're going to pack it up to see what it'll actually hold. So stick around for that in case you're interested in the new featherweight line. So I'm going to shut up and let's just get into it. So the first item that I picked up is the king-sized throw blanket in Java Navy Camo. And I'm not going to take this out right now because there's no way whatsoever that I can attempt to show this to you anyway. It just won't fit on the screen. And I think there are fairly good pictures of this on the website. So this was the first item that I picked up. The second thing that I got is two of these. And they are the Napkin Set. So there's 4 napkins in here. Let me take one of them out and show you. Okay, so there are 4 napkins in here, and this is 1/4 of the napkin, I think. They're supposed to be 18 by 18 inches. So yeah, I think this is roughly about 1/4 the size of the overall napkin. Now, I didn't order these to use as napkins, and I have to give all credit to my good friend Emma. She had shared with me some photos that I'm going to put up here right now. She did give me permission to put these up really quickly. But she had shared with me some photos of pillowcases or pillow coverings that she had made from these napkins. And she said essentially what she did was sew around 3 sides and then leave an opening on one side to slide the pillow in. And I think she had affixed a way to kind of keep those secured in there. But she gave me the idea to give it a try myself. So there's 4 napkins in each set. And if I take a front and a back, because 2 of these are the Java Navy Camo exterior pattern, and then 2 of them are the interior pattern. So if I take one side, or one of them for the exterior, one for the interior pattern, put them together, I'll have 1 full pillow. So I can get 2 pillows out of these and 2 more out of this set, and then I'll have 4 pillows to match my new king size throw. So that's the plan. I don't think I'm quite as talented as Emma is, so y'all wish me luck. I'm not very crafty, but we'll see how it turns out. So that was the second item. The next thing I picked up were a set of these gel pens. I have a lot of Vera Bradley pens, but I've never actually tried these gel pens. And I wasn't sure if they were all supposed to be the same colored ink or if they were supposed to be different colored ink. So on the back of this one, if it'll show up right there, it says that this pack is assorted ink colors. I'm not entirely sure on the ones that you get from the factory stores, if they are all one color or different colors. But really quickly, since I'm curious, I'll show you what colors these make, just in case you're curious like I was. So, the regular Bloom Boom is yellow. Whatever this pattern is, I'm not entirely sure. It's pink. Pastel plaid is like a metallic-y gray. Are these all supposed to be metallic? I'm not sure. Y'all have to let me know. The Morning Shells one. Oh, and this set too was the Spring 22 medley, if I didn't mention that. So, Morning Shells is blue. And then the last one in this set is the Citrus Paisley. So it is like an aqua. If you can see it down at the very end right there. So these are different colors, so that's pretty neat. But that was the gel pen set in the Spring 22 medley. Up next, I picked up another clip and zip mini pouch. Y'all know I've absolutely been loving these lately. And this one is in the Tartan Plaid. So, oopsie poopsie. I like this side the best, to be honest with you, because it's more vibrant with all of those colors. This one's very, very nice as well. It's pretty, but I'm digging that side, to be honest. And I hadn't purchased anything in the Tartan Plaid yet, so I wasn't very familiar with it. But the inside pattern of this is really nice. It's this beautiful green color with those little medallion type things, whatever you call them, I don't know. But that green background is gorgeous on those. So this is like any other clip and zip mini. You get your 2 slip pockets in there, and then just the open space, and it zips around the corner just a bit. So I've been finding these super, super useful as little wallets. So that was the fourth item I picked up. Okay, the next item that I picked up looks like a hunk of fabric here, but it's the knit robe, and this one is in Hedgehog Wild. So when they released this pattern, I thought it was so cute, but they didn't really release it in any of the bag styles or anything that I wanted, so I didn't initially pick up anything. And when I saw they had put the robe in the sale, I decided to go ahead and get it. So for whatever reason, I genuinely don't know why I do this, but I got the largest size again that they offer, because Vera Bradley clothing sizes are so all over the place, in my opinion. Their pant sizes tend to run smaller than this stuff. I don't know. Anyway, but I got the 2 to 3X, and I did not need that, but that's fine, because I can kind of show y'all here really quickly. This gives me tons and tons of extra fabric to work with and roll myself up in. I mean, look at this, y'all. This thing is enormous. But that's fine. I'll just wrap it all the way around me 3 or 4 times. It looks like a kimono, doesn't it? I don't know. I'll make it work. I'll just use it like a regular robe and just bunch it all up here in the front, whatever, you know. But this is the one that's supposed to have the 3/4 length sleeves. I'm short as it is, so my arms aren't that long, and then the size I got is enormous and way too large for me, so I'm pretty close to a full-length sleeve here, but it doesn't matter. Maybe it'll shrink a bit when I wash it. If not, it's fine. It's just extra fabric to keep me warm, because I freeze as it is anyway. So I got the knit robe in Hedgehog Wild that looks like just a big clump of fabric. So the next item that I picked up was the Whimsy Cosmetic in Snow Globe Motifs. So I thought these were really cute. I've never purchased any of these prior to this purchase right here. And so I wanted to give it a try. Now, just remember, I've mentioned this before, but all of this stuff that is still on sale for 50% off, I leave the honey thing, the little honey app that I use, I always leave it linked in my description box, and I use that every time I go to check out with Vera Bradley, and it always saves me an additional 15%. So all the items that I've shown you, they were on sale already for the 50% off, and then I used my code that I get through Honey and got an additional 15% off. So if you're interested in anything like that, then definitely check it out. But this little item right here is pretty interesting. I didn't get this to use it as a cosmetic. So here's my thought process. I have a Christmas bag. It's the handbag that I use every year at Christmas, and it's my Carson shoulder bag in garnet buffalo check. That has been my Christmas bag since the year that I purchased it. I think it's perfect. It's not overly holiday themed for me, but it's still perfect seasonally to me, if that makes sense. Well, my daughter loved the idea that mommy has a Christmas bag that's not super Christmassy, but it goes with Christmas. And she wanted something similar, but she wasn't really sure what. So here's my thought on this. And y'all let me know what you think. Give me your opinion. So this little cosmetic, it has a top handle right here. And then it has 2 double zips. So, oh, that was just the paper. I'm crazy. Okay, so it has 2 double zips. And they go all the way around to the very bottom. And this does have a kind of a flat bottom there. So this will sit up. And then on the inside, it's got the plastic lining all the way around it with all the little critters. And then on the flap, you have this one little mesh pocket. So here was my thought process. I have my little kit to be able to put D-rings into other items to make them make them available to attach a crossbody strap to them, right? So I'm thinking I'm gonna take this, since it's fairly small and my daughter's a teeny tiny little thing, and right here underneath the little fixture for the top handle, I'm gonna put the D-rings in. And then I'm gonna get her a little short strap for a kid. And I'm going to make this a little crossbody bag for her. So if I do that, I'll probably put a stitch about halfway down the zipper on each side. That way she doesn't unzip it all the way and knock everything out. But if I did that, it would still give her pretty good access to her items in there. She would have a little slip pocket. If she put a snack in it and it spilt, we could wipe it out really easily. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to convert this into a little crossbody bag for her. That's the idea as of right now. But that was my next item, the Whimsy Cosmetic in Snow Globe Motifs. I love that little fox and the turtle. Little fox right there, and then the little turtle down here. They're my favorites for sure. I like the unicorn, but yeah, those 2 are my favorites. So that was the next item. Okay, the next item that I picked up was the new featherweight, what are they calling this? Oh my lord, I can't even read that. Featherweight keychain, I guess. And this is in the pattern Artist's Garden. So there's a couple reasons why I picked this up. Actually, no, I'm lying. There's one reason why I picked this up. I wanted to see this pattern in person, and this was the cheapest way for me to do that, and that is the truth. As far as the keychain itself goes, that's whatever, I could take it or leave it. But after I got it, I have to say I like it more than I thought I would. This fabric is very, very comparable and very similar to the factory style ultralight. So if you like that material, then you'll probably like this as well. This pattern, I have mixed feelings on it, but this item I actually like. So the Featherweight keychain, and I'm assuming the Featherweight line in general, are coming with this black hardware. I love the look of it. It's super modern. It looks just really, really nice. Black hardware will match anything. My only concern with that is that I don't know if over time the coating on this, that matte black coating, I don't know if it'll rub and chip off over time. That is to be seen. The pattern itself, let me give you a decent look at it, the best that I can on this little swatch. This side I don't mind so much. To me, it looks almost like a faded watercolor. And the colors in this pattern are really nice. There's pinks and there's like aqua blues and a little bit of like a gray purple and some black and white. The color scheme I actually like. The pattern, I don't hate it. I thought I was going to dislike it a lot, but I don't hate it. But when I turn you to this side and there's that big white rose flower thing right there, that's the part of this pattern that throws me off for some reason. I don't know if it's because this section of the pattern is so much darker, and then I feel like that, that big pop of white is such a stark contrast. I'm not sure, but that's the best look at that pattern that I can give you. If I kind of turn it inside out, you'll see the seam and some other bits in the pattern. There's part of a yellow flower there that goes around just a little bit. There's some more of that white right here. So from what I can see on this, I don't dislike the pattern as much as I thought I was going to, but I'm still not super crazy about it. So I'm glad that I didn't pick the bag up in the pattern. Now this item itself, this little keychain, I actually really like because I love the little wristlet keychains just for ease of use, because I can put my keys on this when I'm out and about, and then you can attach your little wallet to it if that's what you want to do, and you can just throw it up on your wrist and have everything right there. You're essentially hands-free, right? But the other keychains from the retail side in particular, the fabric on those tends to come extremely thick and quite stiff. So when I go to put them in my bag, it's kind of like it's just stick straight, and the wristlet part of the keychain itself will eat up a part of the space in my bag because it doesn't want to bend or fold or conform to the space. This will just smash right down with no issue. I mean, literally, this fabric will just puddle up. So, to some people that may be a plus, to some people that may be a negative. So, depending on how you look at it, it could be a positive or a negative. I'm going to look at it as a positive. This is super fluffy and just kind of soft and squishy, and it's very comfortable to hold. I'm not entirely sure why they made it so darn wide. I think it would have been fine if, they would have stuck with something a little more normally sized. It still would have been plushy and comfortable and all that, but it's fine. I'm going to give it a try, and I think it'll be fine. I think I'll like it just fine. So that is just the ultralight keychain. Or, not ultralight, featherweight keychain. I apologize. Okay, the last item that I have to share with y'all is the featherweight bag that I picked up. But before I show it to you, I want to give you a little bit of the thought process behind why I picked this bag. So when I saw that they were releasing the featherweight line again, I got really excited because I love the performance twill. I love the factory ultralight, and I knew that it would be something similar to those fabrics. But I wasn't 100% sure which way it would lean more toward or anything like that. So I started looking at the bag selection. And to be completely and brutally honest with y'all, I thought a lot of them were kind of ugly. And I hate to say that, just on the off chance that some of y'all may have picked up some of the other bags in that line, but they just didn't appeal to me visually. Like the tote bag, for instance. The way that they designed that bag, it just kind of looks like a weird overshaped or like overly large bowler type bag with short stubby handles. I can't understand why they didn't at least attach like a longer crossbody strap to go with it. The backpacks were okay. The one backpack I really did like, the one that unzips on the top, kind of like the U shape, and then it has the flap opening. I really like the look of that one. I'm just not much of a backpack person, so I don't have a huge need for that. But the way they designed the opening on that one, I absolutely love when backpacks are like that, because you get such good visibility down in the bag versus the regular backpack opening that goes around the perimeter, where you have to try to kind of pull the fabric apart to see in the little nooks and crannies. So I did like that backpack. But the other bags I just wasn't that crazy about. And then the cosmetic was just very simple, nothing too special about it. So the bag that I ultimately decided to go with was, no surprise whatsoever, the crossbody bag, the featherweight crossbody. So there were three options. The print, the artist's, whatever it was called, I've already forgot. But the print, the black, and the pink. My initial reaction, or my initial inclination, was to go for the black. And I was like, no, Amber, you have a ton of black bags as it is. Y'all know I love a good classic black bag. Can't go wrong with it. So I was like, no, wait a minute. You already have a bunch of black bags. Don't go for the black. Go for the pink. So I put the pink in my cart, and I kept looking at it, and I kept looking at it, and I just could not make myself purchase it. And when I started looking at it more, I realized that with this new quilting that they've put on these bags, the featherweight line, I cannot remember what they called it, but I'll put the name of it right here really quickly. So with this new quilting, if there are multiple panels of fabric on a bag, they are not taking the time to line those panels up or make the quilting match. And visually, to me, that stood out so much more on the pink. And I knew that was going to drive me crazy if I had to look at that. Because the quilting on these is very oversized, and it's kind of like, it's like these waves, right, that kind of connect to make this rounded off diamond shape motif. And if it didn't line up on the various panels on the bag, I knew it would irritate me. So that was very easily seen on the pink. So ultimately I did go with the black. Now I'm telling you this just so you know what I'm getting ready to show you. I also looked at the dimensions that were listed online, and my initial reaction to the dimensions was, that might be a little bit small. I'm not the best at actually reading numbers on a screen and being able to visualize what size that's going to be. To be honest with you, I try. I have even taken the time to physically measure it out before, and I still never get it just right. So, one of the bags I brought out to compare this bag with was the factory style ultralight small go-ahead crossbody. And this is relative to the size that I thought this bag was going to be. I thought it was going to be roughly, about this size. Maybe take those end pockets off. I thought it would be somewhere around this, but not quite as deep. Because if I recall, it mentions that the depth on it is like 3 or 3.5 inches. And I feel like this bag definitely has more than that. But anyway, I'm going to keep holding this, and I'm going to show you the bag now. And then I'm going to give you my initial reaction to the bag. And then we'll look at the features. I will compare it against, these other two bags for you. And then we're going to pack it up and see what it actually fits. And once I have it packed completely full, then I'm going to do a manual measurement on it for y'all and tell you how it measures out to me when it's actually packed full. So let me grab it. So here it is, you guys. Look at that. This is the Featherweight Crossbody in black. And it's right next to, again, the factory style ultralight small go-ahead crossbody in sage. So my initial reaction to this bag was, oh, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. That was my first reaction, because it is. This looks a lot bigger than I thought it was going to. And now granted, it's completely flat right now from shipping, right? It is completely smushed down. But this is large, a lot larger than I had anticipated. Now, I think once I fill it up, it's not going to look this big, because it will actually be, you know, filled out and not just flattened down to a little pancake. But before we do that, let me show you the features. So, can you see on the front here, this is kind of wrinkled, but this is that quilting that I was talking about. So we have a different panel here, a different panel of fabric here, one here, and then one over here. So you can see just from shipping that this fabric has gotten a little bit wrinkly. That doesn't bother me. On this side, you can see that right here, the quilting kind of matches up, but not entirely. And then if we look at just this panel to this panel, you can see how they're not lining that quilting up. And I realize that would be difficult to do, and it's much more cost effective to just use whatever panel of fabric is next. But you can't tell me that it wouldn't look 1,000 times nicer if they would take the time to actually line these panels of fabric up to make the quilting match, to give it one cohesive quilted look across the entire bag. Just my 2 cents. Okay, so that's the quilting. Now, this fabric overall, if I feel this next to the ultralight, this feels like the exact same fabric to me, if I'm being brutally honest. They sound the same. They both feel like a little bit of a quilted, puffier nylon. I quite like the feel of that. So I have no complaints in the feel of this bag. But if you are familiar with the factory style ultralight, that is essentially the exact same fabric, in my opinion. It's just that on the retail side, they're calling it something different. Ultralight, featherweight. Essentially, they're both saying that these are super, super lightweight bags. Alright, if we start up here with the strap, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this is a little bit of a seatbelty type strap, but it looks like they've tried to zhuzh it up a bit. They've made it a little bit more interesting. So you can see those seam lines down, you know, these 2 seam lines on the strap. They haven't given us just a purely straight seatbelty type strap, but it is that kind of semi-woven, semi-seatbelty material. If we undo it, this is a thicker strap too. It feels a little bit thicker than the typical seatbelty type straps, but very easy to adjust. Slides very easily. I don't know if it'll slip and slide. We'll try that out in a bit. For now, I'm going to shorten it just so we don't have so much excess flopping around. But very, very easy to adjust. Yeah. Okay. On the front of the bag, we have one pocket right here, and it is a zip pocket. So if we open that up, you can see a little peek of that interior pattern. Here is my cell phone case. Again, I have the regular Samsung Galaxy S22, not the huge version. Vertically, my phone will not zip in that pocket. Horizontally, my phone will lay down in there fine. But this pocket does go from this seam to this seam. to the bottom. So that's the space on your pocket from this seam to this seam, pretty well to the bottom. And my phone, it feels like there's about ½ an inch of extra space down in there using my phone. On the back of this bag, there are no additional pockets. So now let's talk about the weird feature they stuck on the side of this bag. Oh, I also forgot. There's no branding on this bag anywhere. There's no label on the front. There is no little tag sticking off the side. There is nothing on the back. The little adjuster right here does not say Vera Bradley. Neither does this little piece. The only type of branding you have on the outside of this bag anywhere is on the zipper, the zip pulled to the main zipper pocket. And it's this little button type thing that is attached with a little tiny VB diamond. That is the only branding on this bag. I'm indifferent to that. I think it would have looked nice if they had taken the little rubber pieces that they use for the reactive items and put it down here at the bottom in the same matte coloration, like the matte black with the Vera Bradley on it, or like a matte pink on the pink one with the Vera Bradley. I think that would have looked nice, but it doesn't really bother me either way. So the zipper pull on this is that chunky plastic reactive type zipper. Again, I think they made a lot of these choices for the weight factor to keep it as lightweight as possible. Now back to these little side features. On each side you have this little here, this little doohickey here. And this is kind of like the little thing on the Glenna bag. It's a little cinch pull. Now you can see this bag has a very kind of trapezoidal shape when it's just flattened out the way that it comes. But these little side cinches, they work. So you can cinch this bag up. And I know that looked crazy, but let me do it again and show you, because I played with this a little bit earlier. So if we pull this up and cinch it down, let's do it on both sides. I don't know if I got that. Oh no, that's way uneven. That's close. Sort of. This kind of gives it a completely different look, in my opinion. I'm assuming that those little things were added for aesthetic purposes because they don't serve any other purpose that I've been able to find. But you can cinch them down. And when you do that, it just cinches in the sides. And it just changes the look of the bag. I'm sure it would change it more when it's full, when your items are in it. But when you cinch it down, it takes this from a straight across zipper to kind of a domed zipper. And do you all see that? Do you see what I'm talking about how it changed the look of the bag? I can't quite figure out if it has any other purpose than that, or if it is purely just to change the aesthetic of it. But it absolutely gives it a much different shape. I would venture to say that it might even give it a little bit more of a feminine shape, honestly. And you can see on the side, it just cinches it up. Now, the one downfall to this that I've noticed, if we get into the main zipper pocket, the only organization you have inside this bag is a zip pocket. Now, it's not a tiny zip pocket. It is a decently sized zip pocket. And I do like the interior pattern that they chose. Again, it's kind of like a watercolor print with these beautiful pastels and a little bit of gray in it. I think it's really lovely. But the one thing I noticed about the lining is that it's not completely tacked down all the way around. So it is kind of loose in some spots. It is tacked down. I don't mean that you can turn it completely inside out, because you can't. But the inside is a little bit billowy, especially with those sides cinched up. If I let them back out, I can show you that the lining doesn't seem near as loose, but it is a little bit loose. So if we stretch all that back out, and then I show you the inside again, you can see it doesn't look near as billowy or near as loose in there, but it is still, you know, I mean, I can pull it out, but it is tacked at the bottom. So just keep that in mind if that's something that, you know, really bothers you. You know, you may not want to give this one a go. It doesn't bother me. My stuff will be in there. It'll hold it down. It'll be fine. So that's essentially the overview of this bag. So let me show you this up against a couple of bags that I hope the majority of y'all are familiar with, just to give you an idea on the initial size of it, and then we'll pack it up and see what it holds, and I'll give you my first impressions. So I already kind of showed it to you next to the ultralight small go ahead, but let's do that one more time. So here those two bags are again. I'm going to put them both down. So you can see that the featherweight crossbody does at first glance appear significantly larger than this one. Now the other bag I'm going to show it to you with is the multi-strap shoulder bag, because this is a style that I feel like a lot of us are familiar with. So this will give you a pretty decent idea of how this bag looks at first glance. Again, I have a feeling it's going to change a bit when we fill it up, but straight out of the container, straight out of the bag, this is how it appears next to the multi-strap shoulder bag. So you can see it's pretty dang close in size. Actually, let me do that the other way, because the featherweight appears a bit taller. Now, the featherweight does have those very angular sides, but if I line it up the best that I can right here, the featherweight is going to appear a little bit taller than this bag, and at the top it's actually a little bit wider. Now if I turn it around, yeah, pretty much the entire multi-strap shoulder bag is hidden behind the featherweight, except for, no, pretty much that entire bag is hidden. So the featherweight crossbody at first glance actually appears larger than the multi-strap, but again, that is completely flattened out. So let me grab a bunch of items and we will see what actually fits in here. Okay, I've grabbed a huge variety of items here because I haven't packed this yet. I don't know what it's going to hold. But let me show you what I've got here. So I have a 16.9 ounce bottle of water, a Vera Bradley travel-sized umbrella. I have a packed mini trapeze cosmetic. I have a mini clipboard folio. I have the hair accessory case. I have a perfume. I have the little AirPods case with a little piggy thing on it. I have a coin purse. I have my tissue case. I have this little bandana cosmetic that I picked up a while back. I have my wallet with the clip and zip mini pouch in rosy outlook. I have the little PVC cosmetic. I can't remember what this was called. I have my keys. my phone case, a Reese cup, a pack of the cream savers. There's one more thing I meant to grab. Let me get that really quickly. Okay, I also grabbed an all-in-one in, what was this, pastel plaid, to simulate our larger wallet option. So let me scoot these to the side, and then we'll just start packing it up and see what she'll hold. Okay, I've pushed everything to the side here, and I'm just going to start filling this up the way that I would. I would never carry all of this stuff, but I don't think it's all going to fit anyway, so I would probably put my phone and my keys in this outside pocket. So that's all I'm going to put in there, and I'm going to zip that up. Now, one thing I did not mention, because I did not realize, is the zip pocket on the outside right here is on the same wall as your interior zip pocket. That seems dumb to me. Why would you put both zip pockets on the same wall? Why not put the interior zip pocket on the back wall so that those two aren't fighting for space? Maybe that's just me. But for right now, I'm not going to put anything inside this zip pocket, and we're just going to fill the interior. So I'm just going to randomly start grabbing stuff, and I'm going to fill this up. And then once it's filled up, I will do a manual measurement and tell y'all how this appears to me. So I'm going to start with the bigger items. So here's the water bottle. That's in there with no problem whatsoever. The all-in-one, the mini trapeze, the mini travel umbrella, the little bandana cosmetic. Let's see, here's the mini clipboard folio. That'll go in there too. I don't know if this is gonna zip, but these things are going in. So here's the hair accessory case, the clip and zip, which is my wallet, my tissue case. So this is starting to get full. Let me show you how it's looking. So down here is that mini clipboard folio. The water's over here. Right down here is the mini travel umbrella, the all-in-one, the bandana case, the wallet, the mini trapeze, the hair accessory case. So that's how it looks so far. Let me see if this'll zip right now. Yep, that zips pretty easily. Let's see if we can fit anything else in here. So here's the little perfume. I'll just kind of slide that in a hole. The Reese cup. Again, we'll just kind of put it in a hole. The mints. The coin purse. Let's see. Let's see if it'll still zip. Yeah, it's still zipping. We're getting some lumps and bumps across the top, but it still zips. So let's just throw this on top and see if it'll zip. So literally every single item that I showed y'all except for this last PVC case, because I don't think... Well, let's just try it. If this zips with all of that in there, y'all... No way. Hang on. Yeah, I can't finagle this one in here just yet. But this will lay on top. So let me just pull this out. That's the little AirPods case and the little piggy thing I have attached to it. And let me show you all this again. Oh my lord. Can you see everything that I have fit in there? Let me get you up close. This is heavy. I have a water bottle, a mini umbrella, an all-in-one, a mini trapeze, the little bandana cosmetic, the mini pouch from the hair accessory kit. I have a clip and zip, my tissue case, mints, a coin purse, a perfume, a Reese cup. There's so much in here, y'all. And if I throw this just back on top right there in the middle, just kind of let it hang out on top. Because again, I just kind of lined everything else up and put it in there. That zips with not a whole lot of issue. And then let's see, was it completely overly stuffed? This is how it looks on the shoulder. It just kind of looks like a cute little hobo bag. Let's see if it'll stand up with all this crud in there. Now, I do have it a little front heavy, but yep, it'll stand up. So even though we don't necessarily have a true flat bottom to this bag, it will sit up on its own. This is not realistic, I don't think, for what people would actually pack in their bag. So let me pull a couple of these items out that are making it so lumpy bumpy. And then we'll measure it and I'll show you again what it looks like shoulder and crossbody. So I think in all reality, the only thing that I'm going to take out is the all-in-one. Because it fit in there no problem. You can see this giant space that I had it in. But I think just by taking that one little item out, it's going to give this bag enough room to relax that it'll look normal now. So let me try this. Oh yeah, that looks much more relaxed. It's still very full, but it doesn't look like it's going to burst at the seams. So there's how it looks on the side, the back, whatnot. So, I'm not sure how fair it's going to be to measure it like this because everybody could pack this bag a little bit differently. But with all this stuff in here, I'm going to just kind of try to tell you how this measures out. So across the bottom down here, from edge to edge, that's at about 12 inches. So you can see where my thumb is, 12 inches. Across the zipper, the zip opening is about 16. So that's where I ended up on that one, was at 16 inches for the zipper opening. Now the height on this is subjective, again, to how much you actually put in the bag. But with it completely fully stuffed like this, it's reading about 8 inches high. And that's at the side too. So let me do that down the middle really quickly. Was it super stuffed like that from the very bottom to the top? We're at about 7 1/4 inches. And then the depth, again, this is going to be subjective just to how full you actually have it. So if I just measure the little seams right here with those cinch things in them, if I just use the seam lines themselves there, then it shows at about 4 inches deep. Now, if we look at how deep it actually is with all of this stuff in it, we're probably closer to 5 inches deep. So measuring a bag like this is not super easy because, again, it's just subjective to how much you put in it. If you don't have that many items in it, it's not going to be as deep, you know what I mean? And it won't squish down as much. But with everything in here, let me take a couple more items out so it's not so squished down. Let's take the mini clipboard folio out and the water, just because it's heavy. Alright, so if we take a few more items out and the bag isn't quite as full, then it does get more of a slouch to it on the shoulder. Very much so. It kind of dips in there in the middle. You just kind of get that hobo look. So now let me lengthen the strap. And we'll see how it looks crossbody. Again, this strap is very easy to adjust. So I might wear it. No, that's about right where I would wear it. Let me see. Yeah. So there's how it looks crossbody on me. You know, it kind of gets pulled out a little bit more. It doesn't have such a dip to it or such a hobo look to it. And then straight on is how it looks to the side. If I pull it to the front, it stretches it out even more so. So there's about how it would look crossbody on me. So, what are my thoughts on this bag? Well, I like it. I'm not going to say that I'm in love with it and that it's my favorite bag in the entire world because I haven't used it yet, first of all. But I do like it. I realize that it's going to kind of turn into a bunch of fabric if you wear it on your shoulder and it's not completely full. It is going to have very much of a hobo slouchy look to it. But that's the nature of this fabric. It's a very soft, very squishy, very pliable nylon. So it's automatically going to kind of dip in. So retail price, this is $80. And again, I used a coupon code from Honey and got 15% off of it. Do I think the bag is worth it? For me, yes. I'm happy with it. I'm happy I bought it. I'm happy that I went with the black. I'm happy I tried it. This is a very simple bag, and in a lot of ways, this does remind me of the factory style ultralight small go-ahead crossbody, but a larger version of it. It doesn't have the end pockets here, but it has an outside zip pocket, and then again on the inside, the only pocket you get is another zip pocket. And other than that, it's just that super soft, plushy, kind of puffy nylon. It feels really nice. It's very smooth. I like it. I can't imagine myself ever using these cinches, but while I have it full, that is one thing I didn't do. So let's try that really quickly. I don't know how far it'll cinch up, but we'll give it a try. Now, I have that umbrella still in there on this side. But if we cinch it up, I don't know that it looks a whole lot different. Let me do a little bit more there. I don't know. Do y'all see a much of a different look? I guess it does give the bottom more of a rounded shape when you pull those cinches in, as opposed to the more like angular look, you know what I mean? Yeah, I guess it does make it a little bit more of a rounded look. And then on the shoulder, if it's cinched in, let me adjust this back and we'll look really quickly. So as short as it'll go. Yeah, it just, those cinches give it a more rounded look, don't they? Maybe that's the purpose of them. To give your bag either a more rounded look or a more squared off look if you let them out. Now let me take this umbrella out just to see, because this is quite tall and where I cinched it down on the side. Let's put this in there instead. Let me see if that affects it at all. Not really. It still just pretty much rounds it off a bit. The zipper's very smooth. There's no issue with that. Even with it, you know, dipped down in the middle and the zipper kind of wrinkled up, it still zips open and closed very, very easily. I like it. I think I prefer it still with its full-size, non-cinched look. But I like it. I'm glad that I purchased it. So I think I am going to go ahead and switch into this bag tonight to give it a proper try. And then I will come back in a week or two and give y'all my update on whether I still like it, if I like it more, if I like it less, or if I still think it's worth it. So that is my haul. That is my first look, first thoughts on the new Featherweight Crossbody. I hope that y'all have enjoyed this. I hope that you found it entertaining, or if you were wanting a little bit more information about this bag, that I was able to help you out. If you have any comments, questions, or you just want to say hello, then as always, please feel free to leave me a comment because I love to chat with y'all. And for now, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.